tech is such a broad thing, from products to services to, software, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of started like diving deep into multiple different things. I think even when I saw Apple Music for the first time, I was like, holy shit. When I saw Spotify for the first time in like 2014 or 2013, I think, I was like, these are really good and dope platforms for artists. And then I started to realize the importance of, building platforms for people to kind of, whether it be distribute their work or express themselves, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, and that kind of just led me to, I think I only really started getting involved in starting businesses once I moved back to South Africa. So even my time at university, and this is more or less also where Alfie and I kind of, started. So there was this company we started called The Collective, and I think that's kind of where everything kind of started for me in terms of ideating a business, you know what I mean, from the ground up in the tech space. So The Collective, we kind of just wanted to build that. We saw, just within being in university, we saw a gap for a platform for independent artists, independent filmmakers, independent content creators, independent, graphic, whatever it is, right? So we just kind of wanted to build a platform for, artists across the continent, you know what I mean? And just the people that I was aligned with at the time, people like Wenzi, people like yourself, Alfie, people like, even Ganiso and William and Mandla and all of them, just kind of aligning with them, also just showed me, they they opened up my mind to so many different things. Like I was in second year where we had a pitch with, what's that company called? CSIR. CSIR. And so like I was in second year, and my business partner at the time, Wenzi, he was like in negotiations with CSIR for us to pitch our company to them, and that's when I first started to realize, oh, hectic, this is a big thing. And then so many things have kind of happened since then. The Collective, there was Music Indeed, obviously. There was Imfundi, which was also, I think you have specific questions about Imfundi at that time. And now I've got Meduna, and Meduna is more within the Web3 space, NFT more specifically, right? So yeah, I've always been a big advocate of tech. I've always loved it, inside and out, And yeah, it's kind of just led me to, I've got a graveyard, by the way, of startup companies behind me. I think that's just how curious and, curious I am sometimes, But yeah.
And when you're experiencing them, it's easy to kind of like forget about the things that you achieve on the path through that graveyard. But there've been some things that have been achieved along the way that are just mind blowing. I mean, if we take Duke for an example, for quite a while we were working with Duke Corporate Education, and the Million Young Minds campaign. That was crazy.
Yes.
I mean, that year was the year Sophia. I don't know if you know that AI robot thing, Steph.
There's like an AI called Sophia.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sophia came to South Africa, and like we, in a sense, built that event with Duke.
Yes, literally.
I think I know one of the guys that brought the Sophia into South Africa.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, interesting. Continue.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like Imfundi was the first. No, I wouldn't say the first, but like it was definitely the most prominent out of all of the startups I've been part of before, right? So we were kind of, at the time during 2018, 2019, there was this massive buzzword. 4IR was like just buzzing everywhere, right? So everyone was just talking about this fourth industrial revolution and how tech is basically going to take over our lives and all of these things, right? So we kind of just built a company that kind of rode that wave, right? And to the point, like you said, Alfie, like we partnered with Duke Corporate Education as like who were probably one of our biggest, clients clients, and we were doing so many different things for them, right? So we were also building drone immersions, right? So we basically built like a whole masterclass, if you want to call it, or like education program on how to build drones and how building these Lego drones relates to building a business, right? So then there was also obviously Sophia, the AI robot, that also came down, and we were also like, planning a lot of the activation stuff for the event, right? So I remember, I don't know if you remember, we were also in talks with Jumploom at the time, which is a really incredible VR company. They also came through, they did an exhibition. We also organized a bunch of different robots to come through. And like, I don't know if you remember that one activation, Alfie, the one that, like if you wanted a cap, this robot arm would go and get you this cap, and then it would pick it up and then give it to you. So yeah, man, like Infundi was incredible. I think that was probably one of the most like how do I say, like probably one of the best years in my entrepreneurship journey. I learned so much from the team. At the time, I didn't have the confidence that my business partners had. Because I was coming from an acting, directing background, and now all of a sudden, now we're sitting in corporate meetings with, top business people from around the world, and in conference calls with people from New York and London, Canada, all these different places, right? So that was such a big learning experience for me, and I think I owe a lot of what I'm doing now in the NFT Web3 space to that year. I think I learned so much from that experience that it's kind of like translating to my, how do I say, like my aggressive approach to business is very much, like from that time, because of my business partners, right? My business partners at the time, they were sharks, and they knew how to move in this entrepreneurship space. Like they had 7 years under their belt at the time of entrepreneurship, where I had 7 years of acting and directing, So I learned so much from them, and I owe a lot of my my ambition, my work ethic, and a lot to them. You know what I mean? Yeah.